Welcome back to the 4911 Cyberknights software training series. In this video, we're going to cover several miscellaneous pieces of software that are useful for development, but not technically required. The first is going to be the Phoenix Framework software, and you can find this by looking for Phoenix Framework Installer. There'll be several options, but we're looking for the one from CTR Electronics. Go ahead and download the installer. You'll probably have difficulty launching it directly from the browser, so you'll have to navigate to wherever it downloaded to and launch it from there. When you try to launch it from this location, it's going to give you a scary message. Go ahead and click More Info and then Run Anyway. Trust me. Accept all the default options through the entire installation process. You'll have to accept a license agreement and wait through a long loading screen as well. Once it completes, you don't need to launch the software yet, but go back to the download page that we were already looking at. On this page, you'll see something called the Phoenix Tuner. The Phoenix Tuner is incredibly useful and it's a very powerful tool. Let's download the Phoenix Tuner X. Now, the Phoenix Tuner X can actually be found on the Windows Store. Since this is a Windows Store app, installation is pretty painless. You're just going to have to click through a few screens and wait through some loading, and then everything's done. Our next piece of software is the Rev Hardware Client. It can be found on the installation page of the revrobotics.com website. By now, you know the drill. Download the installer, wait a while, run it. You can accept all of the default options for this installation process. You'll have to wait through a pretty lengthy installation screen, but once it's complete, you're done. You don't need to run the software for now. The next piece of software on our list is the FRC Radio Configuration Utility. It can be found at the wpilib.org website as an additional optional piece of software to use. When you're getting it, make sure you get the default version and not the Israel version. What's actually downloaded to your computer is a simple zip file, and inside the zip file is the installer that you have to run. I was able to run the installer without expanding the zip file, so you should be as well. But when you do run it, Windows is going to flag it as something that's scary and potentially dangerous. So go to More Info and Run Anyway. You can accept the default settings through installation, but you're probably going to get a scary warning that says npcap is not installed. At least I did. If you do, then a few screens later, you're going to have to make sure that the option to install it is actually selected. You'll have to click through and wait on a few more screens, but installation is pretty much that. The last piece of software we need is FRC Path Planner. It is created by someone named M. Jansen, but we're going to install it through the Microsoft Windows Store. This is pretty straightforward. It's just clicking and waiting. You know the drill. You've done this a few times already. That takes care of all the software we're going to install, but I've got one last tip for you. If your desktop looks like mine and it drives you nuts, you can actually create a folder like I did. I called mine FRC Stuff, and then I just took all those new shortcuts and put them in there. That cleans up your desktop, so it's a little bit less of an eyesore. But another benefit here is that you don't have to remember the names of tools. If you want to do a task, you just open the folder, and then you have all the tools in there. You're now set up to develop software for the 4911 Cyberknights, and I will talk to you later.